Hi, I'm Drew Allen, and I have a pretty unusual story to share with you today. It's about how I was suddenly sweating bullets, gripped with fear as tears ran down the little faces of my two children, all of us caught in the middle of nature's fury, a half second from being killed, to one day stumbling onto the breakthrough that forced me to rethink almost everything I ever thought I knew, and rescued overweight and out-of-shape 41-year-old Ashley Daniels, who was nearly paralyzed by a very common medication her doctor prescribed. To curiously drop 59 pounds and 8 dress sizes in what seemed like no time. Yeah, that's right, 59 pounds and 8 dress sizes gone in just 12 short weeks. Going from this to this. And it all happened without dangerous drugs, pills, surgery, unhealthy diets, or exhausting and sweaty exercise routines. In fact, I know you're going to be absolutely startled, and maybe even downright angry, when you learn the one surprising tip that burned off all that stubborn flab so quickly and consistently, while restoring her health at the cellular level to that of a woman years younger. Ashley had really been struggling, trying to lose the weight with the popular diet and exercise programs pushed on us by the mainstream media and so-called experts that simply didn't work for her, only to see her life story forever changed from this one breakthrough tip originally discovered at a somewhat unlikely place, the University of Liverpool in England. A tip so surprising, yet so simple, it's already being shunned by some mainstream diet experts who have too much to lose by admitting its power. And in the next few minutes, you'll discover how many of the weight loss methods pushed on us by the often shameless and multi-billion-dollar weight loss industry can actually make you fatter, crush your body's ability to burn fat, and create even more serious, life-threatening health problems. And you won't even realize it's happening to you. Pre-packaged frankenfoods promoted as healthy, like low-carb, low-fat, and gluten-free foods that are sneakily stuffed with health-robbing and age-advancing chemicals that can end up sapping your energy, making you fatter and feeling and looking older. Misinformation, like the one supposed health food we're told to eat that can actually disrupt your thyroid from producing a key hormone responsible for fat burning in your body and create more fat storage, especially in the belly, butt, and thigh areas. Or the popular healthy drink craze that some of your friends are doing that can actually pile on belly fat and destroy your chances of weight loss all day long. Also, why several of the naughty foods we love are actually good for us and definitely not responsible for your weight gain. And how these unhealthy and very delicious foods can actually help fight disease-causing inflammation, high blood pressure, lower your blood sugar, and speed up your metabolism, making you thinner. Plus, the shocking science behind why long, boring cardio or aerobics like running on a treadmill or really any type of over-exercising can cause your body to hold on to fat like your very life depended on it. And worse, can actually make you look older much faster and prematurely age your joints, heart, and lungs. However, the most startling thing you're about to learn is how, while she didn't even realize it, Ashley Daniels' sudden awakening had already begun on that fateful day. The very moment that big old oak tree split in half as I thought my own life and the lives of my kids might be over. So make sure to stay with me till the end of this short presentation, because you're about to see why big weight loss companies with even bigger pockets would like nothing better than to shut me up and shut me down and stop this presentation from being passed around on the internet. Pay close attention, because you don't want to miss out on the one tip that can change your life and revitalize your health as it did for Ashley. I also promise to show you the exact scientifically proven solution that, starting as soon as tomorrow, can begin to melt away pounds of fat from your body and peel away several years of aging from how you look and feel, all while supercharging your natural energy, help restore your sex drive and attractiveness, and reduce your risk of the truly scary and debilitating diseases we're all prone to later in life. Remember, this total body makeover is not about crazy diets, gut-busting workouts, ridiculous TV infomercial gadgets, overpriced or dangerous diet pills, or needing the willpower to climb Mount Everest. And it can help just about everyone, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s and beyond. Whether you need to lose 10 pounds, 30 pounds, 60 pounds, or more. Because as you'll see shortly, while we're all different in one way or another, it's also true that everyone responds to the proven scientific principles that can create massive change in your body. Before we continue, I need to warn you about something. because this gets me as mad as a hornet sometimes. Over the last decade, my research into the weight loss and health industry has revealed what has become a mostly heartless corporate number-crunching machine, full of misinformation and empty promises designed to suck your hard-earned paychecks right out of your hands and into their billion-dollar bank accounts, while you stay overweight, overwhelmed, and frustrated. See, many of these companies do better when you stay fat. It can definitely boost their bottom line, and sometimes they'll do whatever they can to keep you that way, so you keep stuffing their pockets. But for you, that all ends today because of the explosive weight loss tip I'm about to reveal in this presentation. You wake up tomorrow feeling a surprising burst of pure energy as you're suddenly ready to conquer the day. And before you know it, you look down at your belly, flatter and firmer than you ever remember it. The rest of your body, so much tighter, stronger, and more toned. Those nagging aches and pains are becoming a thing of the past, and you're feeling surprisingly healthier than you did several years ago. You look so young. You feel sexy, vibrant, and alive as your friends and perfect strangers compliment you, asking, "What's your secret?" Even the doubters who laugh at the idea of miracles happening right here on Earth are suddenly having second thoughts after bearing witness to your head-turning transformation. You finally feel comfortable in your body again. Or you feel that brand new confidence you never thought you'd have that makes them green with envy and commands respect. Now, you're probably going to be kicking yourself over this game-changing tip that I'm about to share with you, because it's so powerful, yet so simple. In fact, as soon as the next few days when you begin to feel so much lighter and full of natural energy, and then as you start watching your fat melt away so consistently in the mirror each morning, you might not even believe your own eyes. You might begin to wonder how exactly this is even happening, and how results like these have escaped you for so long. I'll admit, when I accidentally stumbled onto the secret, I felt the same as you. Being told about a somewhat shocking scientific discovery that reveals the key to restoring your body's youthful and natural fat-burning mechanism. The key that the greedy diet and fitness bigwigs would like nothing better to keep hidden and locked away from the general public. Well, I was pretty skeptical, so originally I thought it might be a load of BS. You know, the same kind of misinformation I'd seen before, and more claims that couldn't be backed up. However, as I watched Ashley's out-of-shape and exhausted body transform itself, it was simply breathtaking to me for someone who'd struggled so much. I knew right then and there that if the secret I'm about to explain can finally give a struggling woman her first taste of the good life in a long while, well, let's just say I'm a firm believer that you too can get the trimmer, tighter, stronger, and more toned body you deserve, right along with dozens of health and age-defying benefits that you've been missing out on. Perhaps the most startling fact is that as this solution works its magic, your body can finally begin to release the many health-robbing and youth-destroying toxins and free radicals that have been prematurely aging you these last few years. All while reducing your risk for life-threatening diseases, giving you a jolt of natural energy every day, and rejuvenating your cells from the inside out while you begin to look and feel years younger. Ashley Daniels experienced this exact same thing, dropping 59 pounds and walking into her favorite stores, surprising even herself after realizing she went from a size 12 to a slim size 4. And what about Kenny from Mexico, who lost 25 pounds and 4 inches from his belly, restoring that rejuvenating, sexy spark that had been lost between he and his wife? Or Sonia from Canada, who was very skeptical at first, lost 5 pounds after 3 days, and then 4 more pounds and 5 more inches just a week later. She went on to drop 19 pounds and 21.5 inches of flab. And Daryl from Manitoba, terrified about his decreasing health and ballooning body fat after turning 45, who dropped 29 pounds and 6.5 inches from his belly. Linda from Massachusetts says, "I'm here to tell you I'm melting off the pounds and getting really fit. This is the 5th week and I've lost 16 pounds and gone down 2 pant sizes. I'm so overjoyed that I bought another pair of jeans today, another size too small, because I know I'll get there easily. I'm 66 in the best shape of my life. I'm also undergoing radiation therapy every weekday, and rather than being tired, I'm having trouble getting tired enough to sleep thanks to all the energy I have from this. Thanks so much for sharing this with the public." And these are only a few of the kind emails that were sent to my inbox. I'll show you more in a moment. However, before we continue, it's important you learn how this simple tip actually works and why it can transform your body and rejuvenate your life. As I said earlier, my name is Drew Allen, and while I'm certainly proud of all the people I'm helping with this weight loss and health breakthrough, my real pride and joy are my 2 amazing kids. Here's a recent photo of us goofing around before dinner and relaxing on the beach. And I'm actually in my 40s in these pictures, having used the very same youth-generating secret myself that I'm revealing in this presentation. I've even been mistaken for my daughter's older brother a few times. I've also been invited to share my work and success stories with some of the top health and fitness coaches and authors in the world who actually get it. Here I am at a private retreat with the legend himself, Bill Phillips of Body for Life fame, at his beautiful home in Beverly Hills, California. I'm still pinching myself to this day, helping transform so many lives and hobnobbing with the real good guys of health and fitness. It's almost like living in a movie sometimes. While I'm very grateful for all the new and exciting things that are happening to me these days, looking back at it all, I wasn't much different from you. I simply happened upon a unique tip that rescued overweight and out-of-shape 41-year-old Ashley Daniels, whose rebirth into leanness and youthful health in such a short period of time, you must agree, is truly amazing. And this is a far cry from when she suddenly hit rock bottom after waking up nearly physically paralyzed by a very common medication her doctor prescribed. Pretty inspiring, considering that before this, she would spend many days feeling depressed, sometimes barely wanting to get out of bed, grasping at her stomach with gastrointestinal pains and bloating, while also suffering the effects of an overly sensitive thyroid. And although Ashley certainly wanted to be better, she just always felt too sluggish and exhausted to drive herself to the gym or run like a hamster on a wheel on that old treadmill collecting cobwebs in the basement. As bad as things might have seemed, she had no idea that it was about to get a lot worse. I still remember feeling that lump in my throat the moment she told me about the terrifying occurrence that could have changed her life forever. Ashley had already been struggling with many of the side effects of being overweight and in poor health. Then, one morning, she felt a very painful stinging sensation while using the bathroom. And this made her chronic stomach pain seem even worse. Even still, she thought she might just have a bladder infection, which she's had before. So she went to her doctor to confirm her suspicions and hopefully get some relief. After a brief exam and some questions, thankfully some relief did come. The doctor told Ashley she was indeed suffering from a urinary tract infection. So he prescribed an antibiotic. Pretty standard procedure. But little did she know at the time, that's when everything went wrong. Upon arriving home, Ashley took her first dose of the medicine as the doctor had ordered, and being exhausted as usual, she fell right asleep. While asleep, she began to dream. She was somewhere else, on the coast, by a white sandy beach. The sun was warming her entire body as a light breeze refreshed her at the same time. And her body, as she looked down at herself and saw that her belly had vanished. Her skin looked smooth and supple. She felt amazing. She felt alive. A quick jolt of pure energy ran through her body as she playfully ran toward the ocean waves as they crashed into the shore. And just as she was about to hit the water, she awoke. Now that's living, she thought to herself. Those wonderful thoughts of being slim, full of vitality and youthful exuberance still racing through her mind. Then, suddenly, without warning, those thoughts turned to confusion. There was a strange tingling coming from her left leg. She tried bending at the knee, but it was difficult. She felt strangely weak. Then she felt it in her right leg, a sort of numbness along with the tingling. "What's going on?" she cried out loud. She used her arms to pull herself to the edge of the bed and sat up as she felt the numbness in her lower back begin to build. It finally dawned on her. The medicine. What did he give me? As she tried to stand and walk over to her dresser where she'd left the prescription, the numbness shot through her legs once again as she crashed to the floor. Now, crawling on her hands and knees to the dresser, she grabbed the prescription. The label on the orange bottle read ciprofloxacin. She would later learn about the thousands of web pages detailing victim after victim of this dangerous but still legal antibiotic, many of them describing permanent and crippling nerve damage from the very same medicine. Ashley called the doctor's office, frantically describing what had just happened to her. "Why was I prescribed this dangerous antibiotic?" she asked. And as she listened to the nurse explain they prescribe this all the time, she discovered that being overweight can make you extremely prone to urinary tract infections. And then it hit her all at once. Her health problems, being overweight, tired all the time, and now being nearly paralyzed from a drug she was given because she was overweight. She didn't realize how bad her health actually could get until now. Of course, she knew she certainly had some weight to lose. However, as weeks and months passed, her pants began to feel tighter and tighter. Her belly and love handle seemed to keep growing, as they even started to poke out now in a few of her shirts. Sometimes she would even get so embarrassed she'd shut off the lights before undressing for bed, even though no one could see her. And while she was certainly frustrated with her appearance, she still thought of herself as somewhat healthy. After all, she was trying to lose the weight, having tried different fad diets like low-carb, low-fat, gluten-free, and even some of the popular exercise programs she saw on TV. However, most of these diet programs and exercise programs are all about restriction, measuring your foods, starving yourself, or over-exercising until you're completely exhausted every day. Despite thinking she was doing what she was supposed to do, she frequently ended up even more frustrated. What Ashley eventually learned was that these diets were robbing her body of essential nutrients she needed for energy and to keep looking youthful. Not to mention causing massive cravings late at night she couldn't resist. And those overlong, sweaty exercise routines were just not working. They were filling up her body with destructive free radicals. These are like evil little Pac-Men that eat up healthy cells, forcing her body to prematurely age inside and out. Then her frustration quickly turned to anger as she began to realize how much of her hard-earned money was being sucked away by these dead-end fads. While she tried her hardest, she was tired of being hungry all the time and couldn't resist the urge to eat more, especially after dinner time and into the night. And she was tired of having to avoid her favorite foods all the time. Heck, she was just tired of being tired. At one point, she decided to get a full blood test done, which revealed a new food intolerance. And she also learned that all those gastrointestinal problems she'd been suffering from were the result of a failing gallbladder, which had to be removed in surgery weeks later. She began to think about how all these new problems would make dieting even harder for her now. And she just zoned out, staring into space. 1,000 thoughts filled her mind all at once. It was right then and there she realized if she didn't start losing some considerable weight soon, she was going to find herself back in the hospital with even more debilitating health problems. She knew her body just couldn't take the years of eating the wrong foods and following the wrong exercise programs any longer. And she certainly didn't want to seriously consider anything like liposuction because of the risks. It's very expensive and there are sometimes complications. But if she couldn't lose the weight soon, what else was she to do? She was beaten down, feeling helpless. How in the world could she suddenly begin losing weight and keep it off when she'd already tried so many times and ended up even heavier than before? I'm telling you Ashley's story because in life and in our health, things can happen in the blink of an eye. She didn't ever really think things could get this bad for her. She just thought that's what happens when you get older. And then suddenly, her whole world changed as she hit rock bottom. That's what's so frightening about it. There are so many things that can go wrong the older you get. And one day, you find yourself full of regrets, not knowing the very next day could be your last. And Ashley's story may have had a dramatically different ending had I not stumbled onto the breakthrough study that rescued her health and changed her life. See, my passion in life is health research. Spending time in the library, or now online, researching studies that can provide new clues and answers to the great big mysteries of our health. Sounds crazy, I know, but hey, it's what I love to do. So one of the topics I've been pouring over the last few years is that of weight loss. Not only why most people who are overweight seem to keep getting worse, especially as they age, but the link between the dozens of other destructive health problems that are directly connected to being overweight and obese. Being nearly 50 pounds overweight myself at one point, I certainly had enough motivation to research the topic religiously. I became a literal weight loss nut, spending most of my waking hours searching for a remedy to the plague of the modern man and woman. However, I'm quite embarrassed to tell you, despite all of this research and study, I was failing miserably. I would lose weight, then gain it back, and do it all over again. I couldn't even solve my own weight loss problem. I experimented with everything under the sun, it seems, though I kept ending up with the same result eventually. I ended up hungrier, exhausted, and even more frustrated than before I had even read my first weight loss study. Then, one day, seemingly out of nowhere, something amazing happened. I was on my computer when I saw a link that really stood out from the rest because it was so different than anything I'd ever seen or heard before. And it got me curious, so I clicked on it. The link took me to an online forum where one rather mysterious user named Miguel seemed to be holding everyone's attention. He was posting about some breakthrough research being done in England at the University of Liverpool. The study, which I've now come to know as the biggest secret to losing weight, has revealed why most people will always struggle with their weight and live the rest of their lives frustrated with worsening health problems. So I began reading Miguel's post. Guys, look, he typed. The answer to losing weight and staying lean, youthful and full of energy, actually begins with a question. Why do some people find it almost impossible to lose weight despite serious attempts to get thinner with diets and exercise? He went on. Because weight loss has little to do with your body and everything to do with your brain. You see, years of eating and exercising the wrong way actually changes your brain chemistry, damaging the signals that your brain sends to your body to regulate your metabolism. He continued, clearly knowing something everyone else didn't. Eating the wrong foods in the wrong amounts and at the wrong times causes inflammatory cells to enter your brain. This overloads your brain and actually causes brain damage. This breaks down your metabolism and damages the two appetite-regulating hormones that control your weight. And because of this damage, your body's natural fat-burning signals don't get through to tell you how much body fat is being stored. Basically, your brain is like a computer that has had a hidden virus all this time, and you can no longer trust the messages it's sending you about appetite, hunger, and fullness. Miguel had me very curious, so I joined in. So, it's like your gas gauge is on empty all the time, whether or not your tank is full? I asked. Exactly, he replied. So you keep refueling because you think you're going to run out at any moment. But there's nowhere for that fuel to go except to the fat stores. Wow, this started to make a lot of sense, especially as he detailed the science behind it from the study. This is why some people can lose a bit of weight on a new diet or exercise plan, but then end up gaining it all back and then some. The damage to your brain is simply stopping your chance of any real success, he explained. He went on to show us that this hidden metabolic dysfunction that so many people have without even realizing it can also end up being the reason you suddenly wake up one day with debilitating diseases, like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, strokes, cancer, sleep apnea, osteoarthritis, fatty liver disease, and kidney disease. And that doesn't even include other crippling issues like chronic joint pain, muscle imbalances, back problems, and accelerated aging. How on earth had I not heard of this study before? And why did I need to learn it from some random web page in the vast sea that is the internet from a total stranger? Then I remembered what I already knew. Groundbreaking research in big money industries like weight loss and health almost always stay hidden, at least until the greedy corporate CEOs figure out a way to get their piece of the pie. Or, if it's seen as a threat to their empire of repeated broken promises, decide to stop it from ever being released in the first place. As I eagerly awaited another reply, as if on cue, Miguel continued. Now, would you like to know the best part of this whole thing? The best part is that while the study showed some of this brain and metabolism damage might be permanent, the research also revealed it's possible to reverse most of it. If, and only if, you're using the right techniques to do so. There now does exist a unique combination of specific tips and techniques that can repair the metabolic pathways in the brain that have been damaged. And once repaired, your body can begin to lose fat automatically, especially from your trouble areas, just as it gained fat automatically when it was damaged before. And many of these same techniques can lead to revitalizing your cells as they flush out toxins, causing you to look and feel years younger, while reducing your risk for all those health problems I mentioned just a moment ago. Okay, so what exactly are they? Because honestly, I feel like I've tried them all, I asked him. As Miguel began explaining some of the tips that reverse the metabolic damage done to the fat-burning pathways of the brain and the body, I was writing so fast I didn't really have time to let it all sink in. He finished by saying, Drew Allen, if you use these tips, I think you'll be shocked by the results. And then he was done, and I had pages of messy notes to review. As I tore through the information, and there was a lot, much of it was new to me. Many big aha moments for sure. And much of these metabolic repair and fat-blasting techniques seemed like the exact opposite of what we've been told to do by many doctors, health and fitness experts, dietitians, trainers, and coaches for the past 40 years or so. However, Miguel hadn't created a complete program or system or anything like that. It was more like a collection of unusual tips that required some decent background knowledge in nutrition and science to even use. And then it hit me like a speeding bullet. If I could somehow take these tips to the next level, simplify them, make them usable in the real world, we could help so many people and solve so many health problems with this information. But first, I had to prove it to myself. So I got started right away. One of the first things on the list was to stop exercising. You heard me right. He asked if I was exercising, and I told him about the treadmill and running workouts I was doing. And he simply told me to stop it. His reasoning, while strange, did make sense, but it was still hard to accept that to lose weight faster, I first had to stop the exercise I was doing. And that's all I did for a few days, since I had a pretty busy week going. And then, 6 days later, well, I was absolutely astonished. I stepped on the scale, looked down, and saw I had lost 3 pounds. From doing nothing other than stopping my exercise program. Heck, I didn't even pay attention to what I was eating, and I still lost 3 pounds following the first tip. You can guess the very next thing I did. I sprinted down to my study, grabbed my notes, and began scouring them over and over for the next tip I would use. So, that's what I did. I simply began figuring out how to apply these tips in the real world, one by one. And the weight kept disappearing. But not only that, I began to wake up each morning feeling better every day. A surprising spring in my step as I leaped out of bed, ready to conquer the day. I hadn't felt this good in, well, it's been a long time. And then, a few weeks later, something crazy happened. I'm almost too embarrassed to even mention it. I was at a friend's party, devouring a piece of birthday cake and chocolate ice cream, and this absolutely beautiful older married woman walks up to me and asks how old I am. She was stunned when I told her I was in my 40s. And then she asks if I'm married. But that's not the most shocking thing. She then revealed that she was eyeing me out at the dessert table because she thought I was at least 10 years younger than I am, and was asking not for her, but was asking because she thought I'd be perfect for her 25-year-old daughter. I wouldn't have believed it myself if it hadn't just happened right in front of my face. And then it started to happen again and again. That cute girl at the checkout counter chatting me up. The confident businesswoman on the street making eye contact with me and holding it until we finally passed by each other. I'm not going to lie, it feels amazing every time. And just as great as that felt, it felt even better when I got that same surprised look from my doctor at my annual physical. And as he was going over my numbers in his chart, I told him about what I was doing. And he just kept shaking his head in astonishment and saying something like, well, I didn't quite understand it all, but keep doing what you're doing. Guess I won't be seeing you till next year. After struggling for so long, beating my head against my research desk, to be suddenly hit square in the face with this breakthrough seemed like a miracle, especially since I wasn't even supposed to be alive. It seems like it was only yesterday that I and my 2 beautiful children escaped with only our lives from what seemed like certain death. The day started like any normal day for us, and later in the afternoon, we all piled into the car and were headed to the grocery store. A couple miles from the house, though, seemingly out of nowhere, a terrible storm kicked up. First, a flash flood hit us. I was barely able to see the road 3 feet in front of me. Then the wind began to pick up more fiercely and began pushing our car left and right as I tried desperately to get control. I quickly looked back to check on the kids, only to see their once happy little faces had turned to fear as my daughter cried, "Daddy, I'm scared," and my son just kept weeping. I assured them that everything was okay, because that's what you do when you're a parent. Though in my head, seeing what was happening around us, I wasn't so sure. Crazy thoughts began racing through my head. Who's going to walk my daughter down the aisle? Or teach my son how to become a man? Is this the last time we'll ever be together? And that's when it happened. I could see something falling onto the road ahead of us, a few branches from a nearby row of oak trees, the wind breaking them off, no doubt. I navigated around them, and just when I thought I was through, that's when I heard the humongous crack that I'll never forget. I turned to look toward the sound and saw the top half of a giant oak tree being carried by the wind right toward us. While this all happened in a matter of a few seconds, it seemed like time had actually slowed down, and I reacted the only way I knew how. I slammed on the brakes as our car slid on the wet road, hoping we could somehow avoid disaster. There was nothing else I could do but watch it all unfold right in front of me. Boom! Crunch! The big oak slammed straight onto the hood and front shield of the car, crushing the engine and shattering glass. I heard the kids scream and a screeching of tires behind us. I took a few seconds to catch my breath, and it was over. I looked back at my kids who were still crying, and then I started crying too. Not because we were hurt, because I realized that had this all happened a half second later, had I braked a little too late, well, that big old oak would have crashed right onto the roof of the car, and I'm afraid to say, we'd probably not be here right now. As you can see in the photos I took after the accident, our car was totaled, and we truly did narrowly escape certain death by less than a second. But the important thing is, we did survive, and I don't know why I pushed that brake pedal at that exact time. It was as if someone had reached down from the heavens to slow our car down just enough, and at just the right time to answer our prayers. However, that feeling of terror, being forced to think those final thoughts about what might come to be, well, that's probably the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. And to be sitting there, helpless, wondering if I'd ever see my kids again. To be dramatically rescued from what seemed like the end of life as we knew it. Well, I began to wonder if we were all spared for a reason. In the months that followed, I found myself replaying the events of the accident in my head over and over again. I was searching for answers, but my logical brain couldn't seem to make sense of it all. It was then that I turned to something I'd been neglecting for far too long. My faith. That Sunday at church, I asked God why I was spared, and what this meant for my life. And as I sat there silently, finally starting to feel at peace with the accident, my inner voice just kept saying, "You were spared for a reason, Drew Allen. You were saved so you could do something greater than yourself." That was a few years ago. I didn't know it at the time, but that same voice would eventually lead me to stumbling on the one surprising tip that totally changed my life and the life of 41-year-old Ashley Daniels. Ashley couldn't believe she let her body and health deteriorate like it had. She wasn't sure if anything would ever work for her, having failed so many times in the past. When we first began talking about her struggles, I asked her if she'd be willing to give it one last go at something totally different that she probably never tried before. She's since told me she doesn't remember why she said yes to trying my plan that day, only that something inside her told her that it just felt right to say yes, and that this time will be different. And what happened next would have seemed shocking had I not already seen it happen to me earlier. Ashley simply copied my plan, one day at a time. I think it was during the second week when she just about blew my eardrums out. "Drew Allen, what have you done to me? It's only been a few days and I'm already down 4 pounds. Her words of joy and surprise kept coming, too. Almost every week, she'd tell me about her improvements. And in just about 12 weeks, Ashley had stepped on that scale to realize she had now dropped 59 pounds by simply copying my plan. And now, many of Ashley's friends and coworkers had not only taken notice, some were eating their words at the sight of a slimmer, more energetic, and younger-looking Ashley, with many of her health problems starting to become a thing of the past. And others were obviously asking for her secret. Many of them, too, were once like Ashley was just a few short weeks ago, struggling with their weight, energy levels, sex drive, and other related conditions, like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, chronic joint pain, back problems, and even more serious diseases. Just like Ashley, their bellies have been expanding, and their bodies have been marching straight toward a hospital bed and a mountain of medical bills. And that's despite all of their previous attempts to get leaner, shape up, and start feeling younger and full of energy the way they so desperately hoped to. Ashley's success, combined with mine, told me we were really onto something here, a collection of techniques so simple, yet so powerful. And as I was still often reflecting back on the accident and thanking my lucky stars for even being around at all to enjoy the results, I realized I'd really be letting everyone down if I didn't pass this information on to those who really need it most. Those of us still struggling with our weight, nagging aches and pains of getting older, overall sluggishness, and other crippling health conditions. However, the way I just hurriedly scribbled my notes down originally, well, that made following them without my personal guidance next to impossible. So, in order to help the most people possible, I got right to work figuring out the best way to put it all together in a simple-to-use, step-by-step format that even my kids could follow. And when I had it down to a point where I was satisfied, I began sharing this now totally organized, systematic fat loss and health-boosting blueprint with more friends and family. Most everyone seemed to be able to understand it and get started very quickly, so I knew it was ready for those who needed it most. I assembled all the unique metabolism-boosting, age-defying, and anti-inflammatory foods, herbs, vitamins, and minerals so you can begin simply adding them to your diet right away. This includes some of those naughty foods we've been told to avoid that are actually good for you. I also created a list of the supposed health foods that can actually be hurting you, causing you to hold on to stubborn flab and aging you faster. You're probably eating some of these already, so you'll want to read this immediately so you can stop unknowingly sabotaging yourself. I then laid out the exact step-by-step guidelines on how and what to eat over the next 7 days and beyond, so you can begin repairing the fat loss signals in your brain and reboot your metabolism, similar to that of a much younger you. The great news with this is that you can still eat your favorite foods. In fact, you must eat them in order to reboot the fat-burning pathways in your brain. Feel free to create your own meals and snacks, but I've also assembled dozens of easy-to-prepare, mouth-watering recipes that help protect your body from premature aging and disease while slimming you down in the most delicious way. While I also give you the science behind all of this, everything is presented in the simplest way possible, so you can get started right away. On top of all this, I've created a super simple and accurate way to measure your progress with the fat loss calculator and tracker, saving you from having to shell out hundreds of dollars or more at the local gym or your doctor's office. This helps ensure you're losing pure body fat and not destroying your metabolism any longer. I call this collection of breakthrough tips the Young Body Reboot System, because these techniques can immediately start repairing the damage to your brain and metabolism that's been keeping you overweight and out of shape for so long. Just like Harry from Australia, who lost 44 pounds, or Lynn from Florida, who lost 3 inches from her belly and 2 from her hips, while her husband lost nearly 18 pounds. And Peter from Kenya, who dropped 26 pounds, or Deborah from Chicago, who trimmed 2 inches off her thighs, 2 off her bottom, and 2 inches off her belly. This is not just some overnight success, quick fix type solution either. These techniques will certainly help you lose weight, revitalize your body, and skyrocket your natural energy faster than you might have imagined. But they can also help keep you leaner and healthier for years and years to come as you continue to use them. Plus, having struggled with so many rigid plans in the past myself, I certainly know that everyone has slightly different needs. Which is why I've simply laid out all the techniques and tips that will help you get in your best shape and health possible, and you decide how to best use them and how far you want to go. Unlike most other plans that set you up to fail from the start, the Young Body Reboot System won't have you counting calories, crazily restricting your favorite foods, or starving yourself every day. You don't have to count points or buy special prepackaged diet foods. And you definitely won't find yourself bouncing your way through time-consuming and exhausting cardio routines. As we discussed before, that stuff really doesn't work anyway, and can actually make you fatter and reduce your health in a variety of ways. Now, that being said, if you want to turn back the clock and dramatically firm and strengthen your body in all areas, I will show you exactly how to do that. It's a most surprising way of moving that's probably new to you, and you can do it right from the comfort of your own home in just a few minutes. And even if you don't have that much weight to lose and you just want to revitalize your body and skyrocket your energy, simply follow the tips that help to erase the stored up toxins in your body that are aging you faster while sucking away your energy and zest for life. Not to mention putting you at a greater risk for life-threatening diseases like cancer, heart disease, and more. Knowing what you do about the Young Body Reboot System now, it should come as no surprise that there really is nothing quite like it on the market today. It's a complete system that combines breakthrough scientific research with real-life techniques that can help you quickly rejuvenate your body and health year after year, even if you've been struggling like me and Ashley once were. I'm not saying this is the only option available, but let's be honest with ourselves. You could continue trying those same types of restrictive diets, starving your body of healthy youth-producing nourishment, or those trendy but punishing workout routines that wreak havoc on your joints, leaving you in worse shape than before you started, while aging you faster. However, if those systems actually work like they say they do, then why does the percentage of adults considered to be overweight or obese keep rising every year, to now nearly 70%? Despite these overhyped promises, our medical costs and death rates from many kinds of obesity-related disease keeps rising to alarming levels. Sure, you could hire one of those newbie personal trainers and dietitians who typically know very little about how the body actually responds once you're over 40, much less over 50 or 60 and beyond. And even if you somehow got lucky enough to find one of the few good ones, you'd be shelling out $150 an hour, and that's just the average cost these days. You'd most likely find yourself paying even more. Then there's the dangerous weight loss pills, prescription or over-the-counter. And after watching their commercials, I'm sure you remember how great they said you'll look and feel. However, what you probably don't remember, or might not know, is all of the horrible side effects, long-lasting and sometimes fatal damage some of these pills can cause. pulmonary hypertension, high blood pressure, heart attack, heart disease, dizziness, insomnia, constipation, and chronic headaches, just to name a few. You can clearly see now why the Young Body Reboot system is truly different. You won't starve yourself, spend hours in a dark gym somewhere, or become a drug-addicted pill popper. Instead, you'll simply let the Young Body Reboot system go to work on you, rejuvenating your body from the inside out while you enjoy the world's very best foods, including your favorites. After showing the system to some of the truly good guys in health and fitness that I mentioned earlier, you can see why many of them suggested we charge at least $299 for complete access. As they explained to me, this is far less than you would end up spending on the extra doctor's visits or hospital visits, medications and health insurance you'd have to buy by not putting the Young Body Reboot system to work for you. And plus, that's less than the cost of just 2 hours with a good trainer and dietitian. When you get complete access to the Young Body Reboot system, yes, you can begin losing the weight you want, and yes, you can begin to look and feel years younger right away. However, what's most important is the feeling of absolute comfort and the priceless peace of mind you can have, knowing you're giving yourself the best chance of living out your life with your family and dearest friends to the healthiest and fullest. You can picture yourself enjoying your retirement years, traveling the world, taking in exciting experiences, making new friends, falling in love all over again, or maybe for the first time, and all while looking and feeling years younger than you ever thought possible. Considering all that, of course, $299 is a steal. Many folks have told me I'm making a big mistake by not charging more. But I didn't put the entire Young Body Reboot system together just to make a few bucks. This system transformed my life, Ashley's life, and is now changing lives all over the world. Reflecting back on that fateful day when the kids and I were rescued from almost certain doom, I can't help but believe that we were saved for a reason. And I believe that reason is so I could share the system with the world and with you today. That's what the Young Body Reboot system is all about. That's why I've decided against charging you $299 today. In fact, I feel so strongly about it, you won't even have to pay $199 for complete access to the Young Body Reboot system. I'm setting the cost based on what would help cover our website and advertising expenses in order to bring the system to you. Because of that, you won't even pay $99. By saying yes to turning back the clock and rejuvenating your life to a slimmer you with the Young Body Reboot system today, you're simply investing in your long-term health for a small fee of just $49. I'm sure you'll agree that getting full access to a system like this with a price like that, well, it's a no-brainer to get started now. However, because you've watched this entire presentation today, you've shown me that you're truly serious about starting your total body rejuvenation today. And that's why you won't even pay the heavily discounted price of $49. Today, through this presentation only, you're getting complete access to the Young Body Reboot system for a one-time fee of just $37. So, go ahead and click the Add to Cart button below and get started today. Here's what will happen the moment you click the Add to Cart button below this presentation. First, you'll be taken to our 100% secure checkout page that looks like this. And there's no waiting. Once you've entered your information, you'll receive instant access to the complete Young Body Reboot system from your computer, tablet, or smartphone, including all the unique metabolism-boosting, age-defying, and anti-inflammatory foods, herbs, vitamins, and minerals, plus the naughty foods we've been told to avoid that are actually good for you, the supposed health foods that can actually be hurting you, causing you to hold on to stubborn flab and aging you faster, the exact step-by-step guidelines on how and what to eat over the next 7 days and beyond, including how to keep eating your favorite foods, the dozens of easy-to-prepare, mouth-watering recipes that help protect your body from premature aging and disease while slimming you down, the best body-shaping, belly-blasting movements with zero cardio that can be done right at home with no equipment in just a few minutes, and the fat loss calculator and tracker to ensure you're losing pure body fat while you begin to look and feel younger every day. Then, after your order, you can select any add-ons you'd prefer to help you get started losing weight and looking and feeling years younger even faster. It's that simple. You can begin downloading the entire system or even print it out to get started right away. Your total body transformation is just a few seconds away, and it all starts with the click of a button. Now's your chance. So go ahead and click the Add to Cart button below and get started right now. If you're still wondering if this will work for you, you should know I've got your back. I get it. I was in the same place you are now, and that's why your small, one-time investment is covered by a 100% 60-day money-back guarantee. While it may sound silly, this might be one of the most important decisions you make in your life. So let me take all the pressure away and just ask you to say maybe to the Young Body Reboot System today by clicking the Add to Cart button below. Then get instant access to the unique metabolism-boosting and age-defying foods, herbs, vitamins and minerals, plus the naughty foods we've been told to avoid that are actually good for you, the supposed health foods that can actually be hurting you, causing you to hold on to stubborn flab and aging you faster, the exact step-by-step guidelines on how and what to eat over the next 7 days and beyond, including how to keep eating your favorite foods, the dozens of easy-to-prepare, mouth-watering recipes that help protect your body from premature aging and disease while slimming you down, the best body-shaping, belly-blasting movements with zero cardio that can be done right at home with no equipment in just a few minutes, and the fat loss calculator and tracker to ensure you're losing pure body fat while you begin to look and feel younger every day. Let the system go to work on you for a full 8 weeks, and if for any reason you're not satisfied with the results, simply send me an email to the address provided on your Instant Access webpage, and you'll get a full refund, every penny back. Like I said earlier, this is not about money. This is about rejuvenating your life, like I and Ashley have done. So I'm happy to take all the pressure and risk away while you enjoy all the benefits of the system. If for some reason you're not happy, you get your money back, and that's how it should be. This couldn't be more of a no-brainer. But I can't be sure how long I'll be able to offer the complete Young Body Reboot System at this low of a price. I've been told that at some point we'll have to raise the price to make sure we can keep supporting all of our new readers. And today's presentation is just about over. So make your move to start reclaiming some of that vitality and zest for life of your youth right now by clicking the Add to Cart button below. You only have a few seconds left to do so. And let's not forget, unless you take action right now, you may never take action ever again. You may do what most people do and put it off for just a few more days, which quickly turns into months and then years. Or you could even end up like Ashley, hitting rock bottom and suffering from truly scary health problems she didn't even know were possible. So let's make sure you get what you really want and do the only smart thing you can do. Take advantage of this 100% no-risk offer on the Young Body Reboot System while you still can, and wisely get on the right path to a slimmer, sexier, more youthful and energized you today. You're getting instant access to all the unique metabolism-boosting, age-defying, and anti-inflammatory foods, herbs, vitamins, and minerals, plus the naughty foods we've been told to avoid that are actually good for you, the supposed health foods that can actually be hurting you, causing you to hold on to stubborn flab and aging you faster, the exact step-by-step guidelines on how and what to eat over the next 7 days and beyond, including how to keep eating your favorite foods, the dozens of easy-to-prepare, mouth-watering recipes that help you protect your body from premature aging and disease while slimming you down, the best body-shaping, belly-blasting movements with zero cardio that can be done right at home with no equipment in just a few minutes, and the fat loss calculator and tracker to ensure you're losing pure body fat while you begin to look and feel younger every day. So, go ahead and click the Add to Cart button below and start reclaiming your youth and energizing your life right now. You're still here. I'll bet you probably still have some questions. So here are some of the most common questions we get, and the answers to help you out. Question: what kind of results can I expect to see in the first week or so? Answer: first off, you'll probably find that following the tips and tricks in the Young Body Reboot System is much easier and simpler than anything you've tried before. Also, while results can vary between person to person, many people can experience weight loss of up to 5 pounds after the first week or so, renewed energy, some joint relief, and an overall lightness as well as a more positive outlook on your day. Question: what happens after I click the Add to Cart button? Answer: when you click the Add to Cart button below this video, you'll be taken to our 100% secure checkout page. You'll enter your information in the form on that page, and then you'll receive instant access to the complete Young Body Reboot System from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can then begin downloading the entire system, or even print it out to get started right away. Question: what is the guarantee again? Answer: like I said earlier, this is not about money. This is about rejuvenating your life, like I and Ashley have done. So I'm happy to take all the pressure and risk away while you enjoy all the benefits of the system. When you click the Add to Cart button below, you're covered by a 100% 60-day money-back guarantee. Let the system go to work on you for a full 8 weeks, and if for any reason you're not satisfied with the results, simply send me an email to the address provided on your Instant Access webpage and you'll get a full refund, every penny back. If for some reason you're not happy, you get your money back, and that's how it should be. Question: how long is the program available for at this price? Answer: it's tough to say for 2 main reasons. First, I know that many of the big corporations who have too much to lose from me putting the system out there would like nothing better than to shut me down. And second, I've been told that at some point we'll have to raise the price to make sure we can keep supporting all of our new readers. So really, to be sure you get your copy of the Young Body Reboot system at the lowest price possible, you should make your move now to start reclaiming some of that vitality and zest for life of your youth right now by clicking the Add to Cart button below. Question: is it safe to use my credit card on your website? Answer: absolutely. In fact, ordering online is now considered safer and more secure than many traditional forms of payment. Your order today is guaranteed and secured by ClickBank, the largest seller of digital products in the world, using state-of-the-art SSL, secure socket layer technology. All right, now don't forget, with your Young Body Reboot system, you're getting all the unique metabolism-boosting, age-defying, and anti-inflammatory foods, herbs, vitamins and minerals, plus the naughty foods we've been told to avoid that are actually good for you, the supposed health foods that can actually be hurting you, causing you to hold on to stubborn flab and aging you faster, the exact step-by-step guidelines on how and what to eat over the next 7 days and beyond, including how to keep eating your favorite foods, the dozens of easy-to-prepare, mouth-watering recipes that help protect your body from premature aging and disease while slimming you down, the best body-shaping, belly-blasting movements with zero cardio that can be done right at home with no equipment in just a few minutes, and the fat loss calculator and tracker to ensure you're losing pure body fat while you begin to look and feel younger every day. So, go ahead and click the Add to Cart button below and start reclaiming your youth and energizing your life right now.